Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're playing bougie. We are going to be playing with the new Gucci foundation and powder, and you know, you just have to kind of watch to see how it applies, how the colors look, and what my overall impressions are, because let me tell you, this was a little scary to get to. So if you guys want to see what my thoughts are, how this wears, and how it applies, then let's go. So today we are finally going to play with the Gucci foundation and powder. I have been waiting for this for some time now. So I have had the hardest time finding my match. I did go on the Sephora website. I tried to use their matching tool and it had matched me to 360 neutral, which is definitely significantly darker than my skin tone. Then I ordered 310 neutral and it was still significantly darker. And I saw that 260 warm was a shade that a YouTuber, her name is Jessica, she actually ordered this, and she and I are very similar in skin tones, so we're gonna do. So I went with what she picked, and it looks like it's gonna be a little light. Like it'll fill the center of my face well, but I feel like it's going to look too light around the outside of my face. We'll see. So I'm just going to apply this with my hands first, and then we'll use a brush. All right, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. If this shade doesn't work out for me, I'm done. So I'm gonna use my MAC 170 brush. And I'm going to start by just pressing this. It is a really sheer formula. Like it's not thick. And as you guys can see when I blend it out, it just looks very sheer. Alright guys, so this was one pump. It's very sheer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another pump. And I'm going to try and build it up in my little problem areas. The color is looking really yellow, which it's fine because we'll manipulate the color with bronzer and other products. But God, it's been so hard to find a match for this. Like, they do have quite a bit of options. But let me tell you, if you are medium or tan, you are not in the 300s family. Definitely look in the 260s, and the swatches that they use, the pictures of the people, like it really is extremely hard to find a shade that you feel comfortable with. I would say I'm pretty good at picking my own foundation matches, but let me tell you, it was hard. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I don't think I like the way that this looks. I feel like the shade is too yellow. I can't even say warm because it just looks yellow. It looks very sallow. Let me see if I can add a little more to the cheeks and build up coverage. I did half a pump. So now I'm just pressing and building. It makes me look dead. So I am just going to try and build this up. And the other thing for me, guys, is that it does build up nicely. It was so hard to find a match that I don't think I would want to try again. Like, I'm done. This was a third attempt. And I feel like it doesn't look like anything special on the skin. Like, I'm not looking at my skin and going, wow, it looks so good. I think if anything, it's enhancing some of the dryness. I'm pretty dry right now. We'll finish. You know, sometimes you apply the makeup and you're like, oh yeah, I don't like the way it looks. And then at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I'm hoping that that's the case. The match, so you guys know, I do like my foundations to lean a little bit more neutral, and I do like when the foundation is just slightly darker, not like a whole shade darker, but I do like it to lean a little bit more on the darker side versus my actual skin tone. But I will tell you guys that like it doesn't, I don't have to blend it down into my neck. And to be honest with you guys, I am that person that thinks I'm much darker in my head than I actually am. I know that sounds a little weird, and let me know if you guys get this or if this is what you're like. But like when I'm looking at shades, I'm looking at things, I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then my husband's like, definitely not you. That's you. I just feel like I'm darker than I am, I guess. I mean, the color, I don't see any issues with like it being too light for the rest of my face. Maybe this is my shade. So I'm just taking a little bit of a corrector and I'm going to apply that under my eyes because, guys, these dark circles are out to get me. I think that I could have also used a little bit of a corrector like here. I'm just going to do it because I can go over it with my foundation brush. But because the shade is more golden than neutral, which it looks like all of their shades tend to be a little bit more on the golden side. Like even the darker shades I got, they were supposedly neutral, but they definitely looked more golden than neutral. Looking at the shade, I think that I will have to go in with a corrector before actually applying the foundation on my face because the yellow undertone enhances the hyperpigmentation. So like any dark spots that I have are definitely enhanced by this shade. And I'm using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD concealer. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. I feel like there's some pilling happening with this product. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter Primer because I used a really rich moisturizer, and I don't know if it's the moisturizer or the primer that's making it pill, but I do see some pilling like around my eyes. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and we'll come back and add the powder. All right, guys, so I'm gonna take the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer again because let me tell you what happened. So when I was doing my my brows, I placed my finger on my face like I always do, and it lifted the damn foundation. The other thing is it's not set. You definitely have to set this down. Definitely not set. And I ended up taking the brush and just kind of tapping over the concealer and it lifted it. So this is a product that you're going to have to set before you can move on to anything else. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. I used my primer and it creases a ton. I don't know if you guys can see my lids there. There's creasing. I'm going to take the Gucci mascara and I'm just going to use this today. I like this mascara. I think it gives you a really pretty like natural lash. It doesn't give you volume, but it does give you length. But you guys know I love both. Like I have long lashes. And they're really thin, like my hair. So I like for them to look fuller, more voluminous, but it gives you a really nice natural lash. But y'all, that's not my jam. I like them thick and long. I want to add what I don't have. So again, volume. Give me volume, give me more. But it is pretty. If you are somebody that has like really thick lashes, oh, get some up here. And you like maybe just like more of a natural looking lash, like if you have long, thick lashes, you're going to like this. I think that if you are someone that has thick lashes, but maybe they're shorter, you're going to like this. But if you're like me and you like length and volume, this is pretty, but it's just not your jam. So this foundation is going to get put to the test for sure today because I have to run some errands, which means I will be wearing a mask. This is my Pat McGrath concealer brush, by the way, which I have come to appreciate. If you don't feel comfortable spending this much on a brush, definitely look at the Zoeva one. They have a similar brush, and it is, I think, $21. But it is such a great brush for just like getting into like the curvatures of your face, your under eyes. All right, guys, now let's get into the powder before we start to see any creasing. So I picked up the shade 05. This is what it looks like, and I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I think that it is a little more on the pinky side, but in all fairness, all of their shades in this powder look like they run on the pinky side. So we'll see how it performs, but I am going to start off by setting my under eye. So I'm just going to take my setting powder and do my under eye, because I know for a fact if I apply the Gucci powder on my under eye, it's going to deepen it. I have learned my lesson, guys. So I'm just using the Huda baking powder. I don't know if I want to take there's a puff in here, a brush. This does come with a cute little puff. You know what, we're gonna puff it up. And it's a very nice velvety texture. Yeah, this is definitely deeper. This powder looks more orangey, like peachy, than I like. But it worked to kind of deepen my foundation some. So I guess it balanced out the way it looks. But it is not my right undertone, and unfortunately I don't think that this is going to be a product that I can find that works for me. Now I can see that I need to bring it down some. I'm going to take my bronzer in 3. Alright guys, so now to finish the look, I'm going to take Sephora Barely Nude Lip Pencil and Gucci's They Met in Argentina. I'm debating on whether I want to do blush, because I think the bronzer does enough for me, but we'll see. I am going to take the powder and I'm going to use the puff, which, to be honest with you guys, I feel a little nervous about, because getting this thing to open is a little tricky. And I'm going to use this on my lids because my lids keep creasing. I'm going to take a little bit more of the powder with a large fluffy brush. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I did set my face. I use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, which is my favorite setting spray, and it is the best. So I wanted to give this foundation a fair shot, and this is what I'm going to tell you guys. I felt a little unsure about how the foundation was looking and how the powder was looking on top of everything, but it has actually blended together so beautifully and has given me the perfect shade. So the foundation retails for $68 and you get 1 full fluid ounce, and they have 40 shades, which is a really nice start. I want to say Fenty has about 40 shades, or is it 50? They have a nice variety of shades. So as you guys can see, the variety of light to dark is it's a good start, I would say. And I will be really honest with you guys, it is really hard to find yourself a good match. The Gucci powder is $62, and that is 0.32 ounces or 10 grams of product. And you know, they have also a pretty decent shade, considering that this isn't a foundation. It is a setting powder, so it isn't supposed to deposit a ton of color. So what's interesting about this powder is I picked 5, which was medium neutral, and then there's 3, which is medium fair warm, which I think it looks light, but I'm not using this to like fully add coverage to my complexion. They don't have a 4, which I don't understand why, because I think if they had the 4, that's where I would lean. That's what I would want to pick, and I would want something that's more warm. I felt that the powder definitely was more neutral and it pulled more peach. And like I said, it did work out because the foundation was pulling a little too warm for my preference. And I mean, I want to tell you guys that I really love the way that this looks, but I wish that they didn't need each other in order for the color to work for me. This is what the foundation and powder look like, and honestly, my skin looks beautiful. I can tell you guys that I really do like it. I'm not returning any of it, which initially I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to return the damn foundation. But it looks so good, and it doesn't look heavy, and it doesn't look thick or cakey on my skin. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my skin looks very radiant. It looks beautiful. My skin looks luminous. I do think that I am going to have to set my under eye and my lids with a different powder, just because I can still see that it is creasing, and also I can definitely tell that it is, when I touch it, that it's still feeling tacky, and that's what I went in with the Huda setting powder. So I think I'm gonna have to bake it. My face, however, does not feel like it's tacky or wet. It looks so luminous and gorgeous, and I do really love the way that everything turned out. I was concerned initially because I didn't think that it would look flawless and smooth. I didn't like the way it was looking, but just now looking at how everything has come together, I really do love it. The mascara, I'm really torn about, guys, because I do love the length it gives me. I do love the look. I just wish that it made them look a little thicker. And even if I try to build it up, it just makes them longer, and it doesn't necessarily give them volume. The bronzer, you guys know I love, and the lipsticks, you guys know I love. The matte lipsticks are my favorite. I do love the way that everything turned out. I will tell you guys that if you cannot find a perfect match, you're probably not alone. I'm sure that a lot of people have purchased several colors and are like, oh. It is a little frustrating. I do feel that the pictures that they use are misleading. Again, I had a really hard time. So if you are my skin tone, start with 260 warm and see, you know, if you should go up or down in shades. And the descriptions are off because this is a light medium, and I'm definitely not a light medium complexion. And the other shades were that medium tan or medium shades, and they were way darker. Like, we're talking the 300s are your NC45 and deeper shades. Like, the shades are off. So we're gonna see how this wears. It is now 8:45 in the morning. I'm gonna wear this all day and see how it works. Like I said, I have some errands to run. I will be wearing a mask, but I am a little concerned that this is probably not going to be the foundation to wear with a mask, because I'm afraid that it's going to lift. That's my prediction. So I will keep you guys posted, and we'll see how this goes. All right, guys, it's 3:55 p.m. and I would say that the majority of my makeup looks good. It looks very natural. It's starting to wear here, and I feel like there's still creasing on my lid, and I feel like my concealer hasn't worn very well, which typically isn't a problem. Overall, I feel like it doesn't look horrible, but this is a foundation that definitely will require me to bake and really lock it in place, because I feel like that was a step that I didn't do today because I was testing out the powder, but it looks natural. It just wouldn't be one of those long wearing foundations. This would be probably something that you wear, you know, like 7-8 hours and then know that that's its max. So we'll continue to wear it and see how it goes, but so far it looks like natural skin. All right, guys, it is 7 and I am tired and I'm ready to take my makeup off. So this is going to be the final check-in for me. Okay, so what I'm seeing is the nose has worn off. I look a little shiny in this lower part. The forehead isn't bad, honestly. My makeup has stayed on. My skin looks glowy. It looks lived in. And honestly, where I see, I guess, like the biggest difference is this little region, which again, if you guys have seen my reviews, you will know that that's pretty normal for me. For whatever reason, this area just tends to come off quickly. But this is not the most long wearing foundation, and I will wear it again tomorrow and test it for you guys. And if anything changes, I will list it down below. But I just feel like it's a pretty foundation, but I don't know that it's really worth the money, especially because I am someone that likes to wear my makeup for a really long time, and I don't like to have to worry about, you know, my makeup coming off or looking very lived in. I don't mind a little bit of wear, but you know, I don't want to have to worry about looking like it's really coming off. So for me, this doesn't look horrible, but as I mentioned, it is coming off here. The other thing I've noticed is that my concealer didn't wear as well as it normally does. And I think that I'd like to wear this tomorrow without wearing such a heavy moisturizer. My skin has been pretty dry lately, which I'll get into at some point, but it's just been so freaking dry that I have to go in with my regular moisturizer and then mix it with something that's a little bit heavier because my skin just looks really dry. I love the luminosity. I love how glowy my skin looks. I love how natural it looks. Now, something I want to touch on, I mentioned this in another video, but I should put it out there as a disclaimer. I had COVID back in December, early December, and I still have not recovered my sense of smell. So unfortunately, I can't tell you if this has a scent to it. I know that the bronzer had a scent to it, so it's possible that this and the powder have fragrance. I don't know. So if you are someone that is sensitive to fragrance, I would say you should probably find that out. I personally really liked the way that the bronzer smelled, and it didn't bother me, and it wasn't a smell that lasted. But yeah, I do like the way this foundation looks. I do want to wear it a few more times before, you know, telling you guys that it's worth getting if it's something that you want to splurge in. Again, I like the way that my skin looks. I would just obviously like this area to be a little bit more covered. So that's my first impression. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I do want to note that the mascara is still going strong. I don't have any flaking or anything that's smudging. So I do like that. However, I will say I can still see some creasing on my lids, and that is driving me nuts. I hope that you guys enjoyed this review and demo. Please be sure to leave me a comment down below letting me know if this is a product that you've tried, you're going to try, what are your thoughts. And make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video because it does help my channel. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.